Hey, Jim, add homebrew beer guy to the hated guys list. You know the guy. He invites you over, asks you if you want a beer, and then proceeds to crack open the labelless crap that he's been fermenting in the plastic pickle barrel next to the washing machine for the next month. It always tastes like crap. And then you have to listen to the cheapskate moron tell you how much better homebrew is than the commercial, all the while fishing for compliments on slop that he's serving you. Russ in Winnipeg. Well done, Russ. Thankfully, I don't know that guy. Homebrews are bad. I don't know that guy per se, but I've had a couple of them over the years. Aren't they always horrible? Has there ever been any homebrew anywhere in the history of the world that wasn't still worse than the worst commercial beer you've ever had? Not only is it worse than the worst beer you've ever had, it took them about a month of killing themselves to get it. Tell me the worst beer you've ever had. It's still better. The worst beer you've ever had at a party in college when everybody's broke. It's still better than the best home brew you've ever had. I mean, come on. The best home brew ever still makes Meisterbrow taste like Grolsch, or Stella, or Guinness, or my personal favorite, Heineken. Dear Rome, that's it. I listened to your show every single day for 8 years. You were the man. I always had your back until you cracked on home brew artists. You know what? Why don't you just take your distillery and just take it all away? It's like you go to this cat's house. Hey, you gotta try this. You gotta try this. It's awesome. It's incredible. I whipped up a fresh batch. Mead. So good. Where did you get that mead from? Your hose? No offense. And then as you're sipping it, he's watching you for the reaction. He's checking your face out. You're trying not to throw up back in the cup. Your eyes are watering. You're like, man, what I would give for some of that Ben & Jerry's breast milk ice cream right now. What do I think? I think it's the worst beer I've ever had in my life. What do you mean, what do I think? You got any Natty Light? I'll take a can of warm Natty Light that's been sitting outside the refrigerator longer than you've tried to brew this. Russ in Winnipeg has got a good point. Guy's out there in his garage just killing himself with his home brew. What do you think, man? What do I think? I think it tastes like ass. Tell me how your ass tastes. Like your home brew. What I'm saying to you is, you freaks need to find another hobby. You're wasting your time. Get another hobby, then get in your car and drive to a convenience store and buy a six-pack of commercial beer. Nobody likes it. Tell me how my home brew tastes.
Tell me how my ass tastes.
Like that. Very similar. It's probably the same stuff. Thanks, Russ. Yeah, we're going to add that guy to the list. He's on softball guy list. Golf guy, softball guy, party guy, pickup basketball guy, cologne guy, gym guy. You know, can I get a quick spot guy? Subject of this one is home brew sucks. Not only is home brew total crap, home brew guy won't drink anything else and claims that all American beer is garbage. Frankly, I don't like to chew my beer and spit out sediment. Mike in Jacksonville, good point. That's another thing about home brew guy. He won't drink anything else. Life's too short for commercial beer. Life's too short to drink bad beer. No, life's too short to drink a glass of sand, home brew guy. because your beer always has sand and sediment. Sediment, I should say. If life's too short to drink sand-filled beer, why does it take you 6 months to brew a batch? Hey, Jim, I agree. Homebrew beer guy's the worst. Regards, homemade vinegar. Wine guy. Lee in Hartford. This is funny. That's why the show cracks me up. You just get off on some crazy thread like this. Trust me, when I sat down to plan today's show or to think about today's show, homebrew guy was not on my radar. Home brewing is so fresh. The day of prohibition of America. In Rome, home brewing is fresh. Signed the days of prohibition. Joe and Bugahaw. Jim, brewing your own beer is a perfectly normal hobby. Regards, D&D dorks. In South Florida. Yo, Van Snags. Those brewery guys are crazy to think that anybody else wants to drink their homemade crap. Signed, the hunter guy who's having fresh meat for dinner and tells you how you haven't had real meat until you've had just shot meat. You know what? The perfect guy is the guy who just shot dinner and going to serve you his home brew with it. Oh, no, if you're going to have venison like this, you can't eat it without a good can of home brew. Hey, Jim, what's wrong with home brewing beer? Sincerely, people who make their own clothes. Bill in Richmond. That's tough. Hey, Jim, there is no such thing as the worst beer. Signed Eddie Sutton. Brian in Syracuse. Hey, Brian, did that one just come to you, or did you kind of debate that one internally? Should I go with Larry Eustace, or should I go Eddie Sutton? It's a coin flip, right? Roamster, the worst beer we've ever had? That would be any beer from U.S. America. Signed Humanity. War weak American beer, war Canada, and war Carl and Rosemead keeping a private jet. Hey, that's not true. Look, we've got, but not all of it's bad beer. We have some great domestic beer. I'll tell you what, and again, not to get all nationalistic about it, I'll go to battle with Sam Adams and Sierra Nevada against anything you have. Both coasts right there. Sierra Nevada or Sam Adams against your Molson, Labatt's, or the best that you have to offer. All good beer. But you act like the only thing we drink is home brew. Or it's the only thing we have to offer. Wrong. All right, so I mentioned Martin Gramatica. Hey, Rome, you're right. Home brew guy is so annoying. Thanks. Signed, guy who constantly whistles and uses his hands to drum on his desk. Brian in Santa Monica. Who doesn't hate that guy? This says, and the winner is the warm 40 ounces with no cap on, flat, and that has been sitting in the warm, dusty garage for as long as it's taken you to brew that disgusting home brew. Yes, we will still take the warm 40 ounces of Colt 45 malt liquor over your home brew. Thanks, the clones. Hey, Rome, he probably left his good watch at home. Signed Travis. What about home vintner guy who pulls out a bottle of his label, which he has custom made, and pours a glass of raspberry or apple or some other crap wine he's made? Then he insists upon asking, how is it? You can't really tell him it tastes like vinegar, so you lie, not bad, and see the hate and loathing in his eyes. Home vintner guy. Just don't pull out your crap for me to drink that you made if you drink. You made it, you drink it. Randy in the 941. Isn't it? They don't even like you. They don't even want you in their home. They just want to serve you their wine and get your opinion. And how badly do you want to tell them it's the worst thing you've ever had? You know what you do? Just tell them. Then you never have to drink it ever again. You'll never get invited ever again. It may cost you a friend, but still, it's worth it, right? What friend puts another friend through something like that? Hey, Jim, the only thing worse than homebrew beer is homebrewed wine. The stuff tastes like it was born in a prison toilet. Mixed with bathtub whiskey and topped off with grapes that have gone south. You brew wine guys get more defensive than guys who brew their own beer, too. It's like you've insulted their awful concoction, so it's a reason to go. Kirk in Vancouver. You gotta wonder, right, who's worse? Homebrew beer guy or homebrew or you brew wine guy? It's got to be the wine guy because they're snootier. Beer guy's beer guy. Wine guy's sophisticated. Beer guy's one of the fellas. He just wants to drink his own beer. Wine guy, on the other hand, is wine guy. Snootier. He's got his nose up. Then you've got Yankee guy. Namely, George Steinbrenner Jr. Hank. You knew Hank wasn't going to go out with a whimper. You knew Hank had to go out with a bang.